Hello everyone. Public motor vehicles, or PMVs, whether they be 25-seater buses, 15-seaters, or open backs, will not be allowed to operate along the Highlands Highway at nights as of next week. A provision under road transport banning that is being enforced to reduce road accidents and deaths, which have been regular. This is one of a number of measures being undertaken by the National Road Safety Council in conjunction with other stakeholders. Statistics indicate that road accidents rank as one of the highest killers, and economic loss through injuries and destruction is also quite high. Yet this downside in endeavors to go forward has not been seriously addressed. With me to discuss this is Nelson Terma, the Executive Director of the National Road Transport Authority. Mr. Terma, thank you for coming on board, making time available. Give us some statistics, some data at hand right now about deaths on roads.
Yes, at the moment the National Road Safety Council is running a software called Road Accident Database. At the moment we are entering all those data, and by after 5 or 6 years time we should have the full data for the country. But at the moment we have for 2006 and 2007 available for consumption, which I can give it to you.
Please.
For that 2006 to 2007 we have a total of 5,146 accidents being reported. Out of that, that figure, 503 people died, fatality.
That's
people died.
2006 to 2007?
7 alone.
503 deaths?
3 deaths.
Okay.
And 265 people being hospitalized with serious injuries. And 1,989 being reported, but they received minor injuries.
Okay, okay.
So the total is 5,146.
That's reported, but
Yes,
of course there are unreported
as well.
So it could be more.
Could be more, definitely more.
Okay, but then these statistics, they're 2006 to 2007, they're about 6 years old. That's the statistics, 6 years old. Yeah. What about from there till now? I mean,
could be not double or threefold, or more than that.
Okay, and so what is the government doing about it? What are you doing about it?
So at the moment, due to logistics problems, we are unable to do everything, but we are trying all our best to making sure that roads are safer by doing enforcement. You will see that our boys are doing road checks on the road in Leh and Mosby, but during festive periods, we normally do it right throughout the country. Okay. At the same time, we are carrying out awareness programs, sometimes with other partnership with other stakeholders like LNG and the police. With MEIL, we are doing our, but we can't cover the whole entire country because of the logistics problem we have. Yeah.
But from what you are doing, are you effective?
Yes, we are, but at the moment I cannot say that we have been effective, because when we have the data for the whole years, for the last 10 years, then we will see, we will measure whether our awareness programs and enforcement programs have been effective or not. But in the meantime, we are continuously entering as well. After 2 or 3 years, we should tell whether our programs have been effective or not.
Yeah. All right, then let's talk about the accidents. From the statistics at hand, from 2006 to 2007, 5,000, more than 5,000, of which 500 have died. Okay, what are the types of accidents here? Are they like buses going off cliffs, or pedestrians, or what are the categories of accidents? What specific accidents that cause these fatalities?
Okay, for example, the casualty severity is a driver, for example. There are also different types of accidents. Sometimes we normally categorize them into road users as a driver, passenger, or a pedestrian.
Okay.
So that's all I'll give you right now. But the driver's fatality rate is 57. So 57 could be meaning that driver must be at fault.
Okay.
Or that driver was been killed because of the other drivers, doing so.
Okay.
And then out of that, passengers 248, and the pedestrian is 198. You see, so In this case, the highest is passengers, you see. Maybe the passengers might not be, like in one vehicle, there are a lot of passengers traveling, you see. In a bus, for example, 25 people die on the spot, you see.
Yes,
That's why the number is high.
Yes,
The driver is only one, so you see. So, and then another accident could be about 20. So, passenger number is always high.
Higher, okay.
In one vehicle, a lot of passengers are traveling in it.
All right, let's take pedestrians now. What sort of people are there? And I hear you say school children, younger age are more vulnerable here.
Yes, yes. Pedestrians, most of these pedestrians are those people who are walking on the road. Sometimes our road, like road network, sometimes they don't provide the footpaths. So people are forced to walk in the middle of the road sometimes. Sometimes they struggle. So when they're also competing with the vehicle. So when the vehicle is off the road, then who is walking on the road is likely to be killed. So school children are vulnerable because school children are growing up and their way of judging the speed and taking extra care is not really limited, you see.
No.
So they do anything on the road. Sometimes they play on the road. Sometimes they cross the road at the wrong spot. And sometimes they don't use the crossing properly. So that's why children's understanding is very limited to judge the speed of the vehicle and which is the correct or safe place for them to cross. And so that's why age between 1 to 15 is vulnerable to it.
The specific case in point is the Baroka overhead bridge.
Yes.
People are lazy. They don't want to go over those steps and across, but are going through and really risking their lives. And I see them holding hands with some small kids and dragging them across as well.
That's right, because we saw that, that is a very dangerous spot because 5 people already died from that particular section of the road. And then NCDC managed to put that fence in between.
But they're
just
still
to
going across.
Stop them from jumping over that, but they're still using, even ladies too. They struggle to jump over that fence, you see. Wow. So we have a problem here. That's, overhead bridge is purposely for the safety of the people and it's doing nothing up there. Okay. It costs millions of kina to put up that overhead bridge and nobody seems to be utilizing or using that.
Yeah, maybe an education thing here, teaching the police, yourself?
Yes, we have been conducting awareness, I think, so many times out there with our boys, chanting, they're telling them, but people can't listen.
Okay. All right, where are the accidents and where the deaths occurring? In Port Moresby, in the Highlands, in Rabaul, where?
All this happen right throughout the country.
Okay.
All throughout the country. The leading is in Moresby.
All right.
NCDC has got the highest, which is about 60 people. No.
Where's the next?
Second next is the Western Highlands.
Western Highlands Province.
And then Morobe follow on.
Okay. All right, let's look at this then. Papua New Guinea has 7 million people.
Yep.
Very few have cars and are on the road. The bulk of the people are in the village or at the beach catching fish. And such a small percentage of the population have cars and are on the road. Yet the death rate, and if we scale it down to proportion to some Australian cities who have more roads and more cars, their death levels are much less than ours. So where are we going wrong here?
You are right, because like in Australia, even though they have a big road network, road condition is A1, and then they have a big number of vehicles traveling, at the same time, their vehicle accident rate is very low. Like in Papua New Guinea, most of the people, nearly more than 70%, they don't use a vehicle. It's only few they own the vehicle and they use the road traveling frequently up and down, but majority of the rate is very high. Okay. At the same time, our rate later on is Highlands Highway.
What?
There's known that the vehicle is too narrow, but they don't, they don't take into consideration these factors. Sometimes they speed. Sometimes they do anything they want on the. Sometimes they park the car just at the roadside and they just go away, without understanding there's a long queue going to be. These are the things. The driver is, that is a human behavior, and the people, not human behavior. Sometimes the passengers, sometimes the people as a pedestrians. All these are human behavior, and the vehicle factor is like vehicle is sometimes mechanically fault or unroadworthy.
Yes, yes.
You know, sometimes they bring it into the city, sometimes and then it breaks down on the road.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it causes a lot of kill or a problem on the road because the road is too narrow and all of them are competing. And when your vehicle is break down right in the middle of the traffic light or somewhere, then there's a problem.
Yes, yes.
So,
but there are checks and balances. This is where police comes in. This is where your officers come in. These are not being done, and you can see people getting away with traffic offences. It's a normal thing now.
Like I said, we, Road Safety Council, we are doing routine enforcement operations Monday to Friday, 8 to 4, but we can solve the problem too because the thing is the vehicle population is so big, the people are moving in at the same time. We cannot be on the road all the time,
No.
you know, everywhere, you see. That's a problem.
Yeah. Are drivers being licensed properly? Are they going through the systems and going through passing tests before they are licensed?
At the moment, it's not happening that way. Somehow the drivers seem to be getting their driving license through some corrupt dealings. And that is not really, but traffic registry, they're doing it. But at the moment, there is no really a driving school in Port Moresby. So that's why you will see that the crews become driver just after a few months becoming a crew, and then somehow it's already driving.
Yes, yes. And what about vehicles? I mean, for instance, say a coaster bus, 25-seater bus that carries a lot of people. I don't see them queue up to get serviced and to be checked and that it is roadworthy. That isn't being done. That isn't being done anywhere. Where do these buses go to get service to ensure that they are roadworthy and that lives of 25 people are guaranteed?
At the moment, there are a lot of inspection stations operating in the city. The genuine are motors and those vehicle dealers. But you know what is happening now? Those buses and the taxis, they're not going to the genuine inspection stations. They're going through some inspections operating in, like not meeting the requirements, like one is at the 5 Mile up there. Yes. Some are operating at Morata. Some are operating elsewhere, so maybe they're passing the vehicles without physically inspecting the vehicle. You see, some of these, especially the public motor vehicles, supposed to be checked properly because
who polices that? You police?
No, that's police for Department of Land. We issue the Department of Transport. We issue them the inspection station licenses. So it is our duty to make sure that we monitor those inspection stations, whether they are meeting the requirements of the inspection station or not is another thing. So I think it's better for us all stakeholders to come together and see who is supposed to be given the license to operate and it is not supposed to give because they have to have requirements for the inspection station to operate.
And defaulters should be penalized with fines or it. I mean, the way things are, the kind of traffic offenses that are being committed and people were to be fined on the spot, we would make millions of kina each month in this country.
At the moment, we are enforcing that one, but the fines are very lenient, like inspection expert safety sticker is 50 kina, so people just pay the 50 kina and they are gone.
Can cars then be impounded and taken off altogether, off the road altogether, because they are not passing tests? Can that happen?
That can happen, right? I'm pretty sure that is one of the requirements under that before they issue with a license to operate inspection stations.
Okay, okay. All right, let's talk about bus drivers and truck drivers. They seem to be driving with no care, I suppose, for themselves even. They have the required rest that they should have. They keep driving until they're sleeping in the buses when they're doing about 120 kilometers an hour and killing people. What's the law there?
Actually, there is a law in a Motor Traffic Act saying that a driver should have 8 hours the maximum to drive, not beyond 8 hours in a day.
Right.
And then in a week, 6 days in a week you have to drive, and 8 hours, not more than 7 days a week. Yeah. So it stays in the Motor Traffic Act. So by law, they should be penalized for that.
Yes.
But at the moment, they're running away because actually we are not really enforcing that section of the motor traffic. So they're going away and doing what they want any time of the day.
Yes, yes. There is a service description called too light. They drive till day and night and call it too light. Dangerous, is it not?
That too light is mainly practiced in the Highlands Highway. Too light, they travel from Hagen to Leh during the day, arrive in Leh at 4 o'clock and load the passengers again and travel all night back to Hagen again.
And then go back to Leh.
Then go back to Leh again. And then go back to night and go back to Hagen again, you see. The driver, they don't have sleep. Restless nights, sleeping both day and night. And a lot of accidents been happening for doing that. And in Western Islands especially, I think similar accidents so far happened. And one recent one was at the Baya River, Baya Road, about 20, claimed 25 people. Yes. And out of those 30 passengers, 5 survived. And those 5 were at the back of the bus. So they survived and they weren't been interviewed. And they confirmed that the driver had sleepless nights, traveling to Mendang, Leh, and then back again. And before actually they went to Hagen, they confirmed and he had complained that I want to rest. But he was forced to drive again, and then he came and then...
By the owner of the bus?
Yes. Yeah, so yeah. The owner should be penalized.
And that hasn't happened.
Or even the driver happened to survive, then he would be penalized as well.
Yes.
So at the moment we are not really, addressing that issue that seriously.
Yeah, it should be.
So
what
people
about
are just, walking away.
Yeah. And what about truck drivers? They also travel long hours on highways today there's resources tucked at the other end of the country and the wharfs and everything are at the other end. Travel long hours on the road.
They have been traveling long hours, so I think the owners and the people must consider safety first, because drivers need to rest. Because we are not made of metals where we can continuously work, because sometimes automatically going to switch off.
Yes.
And then you are going to put innocent people's lives online, you see. Sometimes a big semi-trailer ran off the market, for example.
And
those people living, marketing on the roadside, they'll all be killed. Just for the stupidity of that driver for not sleeping and then, just continuously driving.
Okay.
And that matter also been that incident in Baya was being investigated, and we brought a report to the minister's attention and the superintendent of motor traffic, which is the secretary for transport. And that has been highlighted, and he already given a circular warning to penalize those people traveling the night.
Yes.
So the National Road Safety Council and the police, transport, other enforcing agencies will be enforcing that soon after this interview, I think, because we have already agreed, and we see that is the way forward for us to stop these sort of things happening, because it already claimed so many lives.
Yes.
So that is the step that the government is taking now to stop that, and then we will be enforcing that.
Oh, very good. Well, in other words, as of tomorrow, there'll be no PMVs loaded with people traveling at night.
Yes, that's what we will be doing.
Okay. The other thing is, accidents are, when you lose lives, it's sad, but it's also has an economic implication in the country. All right, there are laws there. How is the government assisting you? Are you comfortable with the level of funding you have? Is the government assisting you?
At the moment, the National Road Safety Council is operating from with the 2.5 to 3 million per annum. That is also including the recurrent. And our source of revenue is from the 5% levy with the HEMIAL. So this is like we are collecting 150 to 200,000 per month. That also funds the recurrent and the project. So when you really look at it, we are unable to do major awareness programs. Like at the moment we have got a lot of projects to do, like putting road safety into the education curriculum, where we have no funds to do mass production and the distribution of the material to all the schools, because that's the long term we are looking at.
Okay.
We have
no funding. You've only got this 5% levy from registration.
That's all.
But no funding from government itself.
No, not yet.
And yet you are faced with a situation where you have so many people die each year, more than, as you said, HIV/AIDS and things like that. And yet with nothing. It's like your hands tied in the back and you're told to go out to the front and fight.
Yes. Whatever little money we are collecting from the enforcement operation, it's also sustaining those guys who are, itself like operational costs like paying wages, salaries, fuel, hiring of vehicles, and this is what we can do.
Okay. Well, what have you told Arno Pala, your minister, about this?
We already taken the matter up, so it should be next year. I think we should be that should be addressed.
Okay, Mr. Terma, what would be the ideal situation for you as the executive officer of the Road Transport Council? What would be the ideal situation for you?
As I said earlier, because this total number of fatality, 503, is too many, and it's really a frightening, figure.
Yeah.
So I am appealing to the all other stakeholders and the government to come forward, and we all have to address this issue, because if we are going to keep this ourselves up there and then allow people to die, then it's not really, because it's only our countrymen who is dying on the road. And when we improve the infrastructure in the country, building roads, extending roads, and sealing the road and all this stuff, I tell you, the vehicles will be traveling at a high speed, and then you are expecting more people to die.
Yeah.
So we have to give priority to the safety, and we have to do much to, for the safety of the people. And
I was going to say that government is concentrating on, well, the message out there is roads improvement, Highlands Highway sealed, this and that corner, that pothole. And government tends to go there, but at the same time it is not thinking about people. When it's fixed, how should people use that road? That message is not corresponding with the kind of attention being given to fixed roads.
No, you're right. So we have to do a lot of awareness. People must know when the road facility is improved, and then they must know how to use the road as a driver or as a pedestrian or as a passenger, because they have to have a duty to play. So if we just build a road, leave it, then people are going to travel at their own, wish. Yeah. Right. And then we expect more people to die.
Okay.
And at the same time, we have did a safety audit. And then a lot of highways, you will see that a lot of road signs are not there. Sometimes people, they don't,
people
they just
vandalize it.
Like if there is a crossing ahead or school ahead. Yeah. And then, when they don't know sign telling them or educating them, then people are just going to speed.
Yes.
Travel at a high speed, and the chances of being killed is very high at that particular spot. So these sort of things we are looking at. So if we have assistance coming from other stakeholders and the government, then I'm pretty sure we should address some of these issues.
Okay. All right, Mr. Terry, we are running out of time. Any message you want to tell the audience there?
Okay. That's Superintendent of Motor Traffic already given us green light, given us a circular for the enforcing agencies to enforce the two-light buses especially conducting business in the night. So in the Highlands Highway, the owners or the drivers or the passengers, if you have been using the road in the night, then we will be on the road checking. So as of next week and onwards, no more traveling in the night. So we will be definitely checking, and those who are caught will be penalized, and the law will take its own course. So I'm warning you, this is to educate you all to make sure not to travel in the night.
We'll leave it there. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Nelson Terma, the Executive Director of the National Road Transport Authority. This has been TOK PIKSA, another program at the same time today week. Thank you for watching.